Season 19 of The Bachelorette is cruising along, and we're now headed into week 5, where the gang is headed to Bruges, Belgium, and one man wants to shake up the whole season and swap bachelorettes. And this week, we're not only going to look at what goes down and who might be going home next episode, we're also going to dive into one of the big mysteries of the season that could shake up who's in Gabby's final 4. So without further ado, let's take a look at this preview for episode 5, and if you're new to the channel, please no posting any outright spoilers in the comment section below unless it's been sleuthed out, and if you want to watch the uninterrupted preview in full, a link to that is in the description.
Cheers.
I feel like I'm riding a high, being here in Bruges, Belgium. Do you like it? I am just so excited to see where things go.
So here we are in Bruges, Belgium. The valiant lady will be setting sail from France to Belgium for a new set of dates, like here on some sort of group date with Gabby's men, where you can see Johnny is missing. And that's cause he'll be getting Gabby's one-on-one for the week, either that or a strange new punishment the Bachelor producers have come up with that involves being smacked by a bunch of vegetables. But if we're looking at there only being 14 men left, 7 for each Bachelorette, and at least one more European destination after Belgium in Amsterdam, that means we've only got 2 more episodes before hometowns where things are narrowed down to 4 men each. So getting a one-on-one at this point is pivotal, especially if you haven't had one yet. Cause if you're a guy who's only been on group dates with only 1 more episode to go till hometowns, well, the writing should be on the wall. But let's keep going.
Every moment I spend with Rachel, the connection's just there.
I love that feeling of seeing you smile.
At the end of the day, when we look at each other, we just know that we want to be together.
You make all this so easy.
I feel so happy.
Okay, and pausing here as we're now seeing what Rachel's week is going to look like. Avon will be getting the one-on-one with her, and apart from this footage with Tino and Tyler, we're finally getting some screen time for Ethan. But I will admit, this actually kind of worries me. I'll tell you why. Now, for us viewers, 2 hours of The Bachelorette seems like a lot of time, right? But for the editors, it's actually not a lot, and screen time is a precious commodity as you try to fit in days and days of footage into 120 minutes. So typically, if you're doling out screen time, it's for a specific reason. For example, if men like Tino here get screen time, even though they're not getting the one-on-one for the week, it's actually not a big deal. We know he's going to be making it far, and he's likely getting this extra screen time to remind us of their relationship week to week, so we're more invested when he gets near the end. But when someone like Ethan gets featured, a man who's not had much quality screen time at all this season, it's usually for a very different reason. Either he's about to start a lot of drama, or he's about to get eliminated. And based on him saying, "I love the feeling of seeing you smile," I don't think he's going to be starting drama. Now, of course, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but it has my eye, especially considering Ethan has to be going home at some point in the next 2 episodes. There's just no room for him in Rachel's final 4. But we'll get into the eliminations near the end of the video, including one possible saving grace for Ethan. For now, let's move on.
I care about Rachel, but I can't put my initial feelings for Gabby aside.
This is humiliating.
Yeah.
Humiliating.
What is going on?
Is Logan coming in? That's just a huge wild card.
And here he is, Logan is on Team Gabby. But what's all going on here? Well, let's go over what we know for sure first. Like, this bit of footage here is something we've seen in the previews before.
What's going on?
I still have feelings on the other side.
Why? Why me? Why now?
Now, obviously this was a fake out, as we know Logan is a Team Rachel guy, and the other side he's referring to is Gabby's group. But whatever tricky editing is going on, it looks to be from this moment. Gabby's outfit here, where Rachel says this is humiliating, matches what she's wearing while talking to Logan right here. And it's all a different time than this group date shot, where Logan arrives. Check out the rose right here that proves this is a group date, meaning it's likely that Logan asks to speak to both Rachel and Gabby to express his desire to switch leads, and Gabby gives him a shot, which production could have a big hand in as well. The other possibility is that Gabby shuts him down, but he shows up on the group date anyway. Still, whatever the outcome is of Logan shooting his shot with Gabby, it's hard to imagine he's going to be going very far with her. Unless you want to don your tinfoil hat for another conspiracy. Actually, we're going to hold off on that for just a moment. For now, let's finish off this preview, and then we can speculate.
You know, actions carry consequences, and this really affected Rachel. It's gonna cause a stir.
I quit. I don't want to do this anymore.
And there you have it. Rachel doesn't want to do this anymore, and she even says, I quit. But don't expect that to actually happen. Apart from the fact that this is something we see almost every season with the lead saying, I quit or I'm done, we know that Rachel continues on to have dates in the Netherlands, hometowns, and beyond. All this drama is likely the result of Logan's swap. We already saw Rachel express her insecurities about the men not being invested last episode, and this is only going to make things worse. But let's now get into eliminations for the week, and there's a bit of a wild card here. Logan. If Logan swaps teams, that means there are going to be 8 men for Gabby and 6 for Rachel. So the math gets kinda weird because if they're typically eliminating 2 men each, Rachel would be down to her final 4. So for now, I'll nominate 2 men for Gabby that could be eliminated and 1 for Rachel, but with full acknowledgement that the rules could vary drastically next episode. Now with Gabby, the men I'm looking at are Michael and Mario. Spencer is on the chopping block too, but he's got a little more momentum than Michael and Mario after winning that French boxing group date and getting a rose. As for Rachel, we've got Meatball and Ethan. Take your pick. If one doesn't get eliminated this week, they'll be gone the week after. However, the one saving grace for Ethan could be this. His comment of saying, I love that feeling of seeing you smile, could be in response to how upset Rachel gets after Logan jumps ship. And the reason he could be getting screen time for this is actually because he's someone who cheers Rachel up after all the drama. And that could be how he gets a rose and survives another week. Which would mean Meatball is the one to go. And then there's the Logan of it all. Now my gut instinct was telling me he's going nowhere. Gabby had already let Rachel add him to her group of guys, so she must not have felt strongly enough to fight for him. Plus, he'd have to compete for a hometown spot over other men who've already built a connection with Gabby. But then, it hit me. And by that, I mean the tinfoil hat I slammed on my head as I realized there might be a conspiracy afoot. Now, if you followed the preview breakdowns all season, you'll know there's a mystery man we've talked about in Gabby's final 4. At this point, only 4 men had solid one-on-one date footage with Gabby in the previews. Jason, Eric, Johnny, and Nate. But with Nate, we speculated that this shot in Amsterdam is a pre-hometown breakup. Check out the season preview video for the details on that. Which means, if that's the case, who could possibly fill in that 4th hometown slot? There's really been no preview footage of anyone else on dates with Gabby. That is, unless production was trying to fool us this whole time, and somewhere out there is footage of Gabby and Logan, Gabby's final hometown guy. But why? Why would there be no footage of Logan? Well, perhaps it's because Logan, up to this point, has been a Rachel guy. So, showing him in the previews on a date with Gabby would have been a spoiler. As a result, they wiped clean all the footage of Logan and Gabby together until next week when he becomes a Gabby guy. And suddenly, we have Gabby's 4th man. Now, do I actually believe this is the case? I don't know. I mean, it's also possible that Gabby decides to only bring 3 men to hometowns. Or Nate somehow comes back. It's a weird season with the double leads, so who knows. But I have a feeling that in the next episode or 2, we'll be getting an extended mid-season preview where a lot of our unanswered questions will get answered. So that's it for this preview breakdown for week 5. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, let me know by giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and dishing out your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. And until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.
I am just so excited to see where things go.
I quit. I don't want to do this anymore.